Most horse owners hate bug season, myself included, but this time of year can actually become one of the best opportunities to build trust with your horse. If your horses have been absolutely miserable with the bugs this summer, you are definitely not alone. Mine have been counting the minutes until they can come back inside, even though they love fresh green pasture. But instead of fighting bug season, I've started using it to strengthen my relationship with my horses. Can something as miserable as bug season actually improve your relationship with your horse? I think it can. Today I'm working Peachy, giving an update on her fitness and weight loss program, and showing one simple habit that's made a bigger difference than I expected. I'm going to show you how I've been using this challenge to help Peachy, not just physically but mentally too. Here I am catching Peachy, and as with most things involving horses, I'm not rushing or in a hurry. I would argue that this is one of the most important yet often overlooked interactions we have with our horses. It may seem simple and straightforward, but it's so much more than just putting on a halter. These first few moments set the tone for everything that follows. Once we're back in the lean-to, I like to use this time not only to groom Peachy, but also to give her a thorough once-over and check for any cuts, scrapes, swelling, or skin issues. Grooming is one of the easiest ways to spend quality, low-pressure time with your horse any time of the year. There's no agenda and no demands, just an opportunity to slow down, be together, and pay attention to how they're feeling. During the summer, though, I think it becomes even more meaningful. The heat, humidity, and relentless bugs can make horses genuinely uncomfortable. Taking the time to brush them, apply fly spray, and give them a little relief shows that you're paying attention to what they need. Those moments of comfort help build trust, and I think they're just as important as any training exercise we do. Horses naturally seek out other horses to help them with flies through mutual grooming and standing head to tail. While we can never replace another horse, we can still provide some of that same comfort and relief. You may notice that I already have all my tack laid out, even though I don't plan on riding. Horses are incredibly good at making associations, and it doesn't take them long to connect certain equipment with what usually comes next. I like to occasionally have my tack nearby without using it, just to remind her that seeing a saddle or bridle doesn't automatically mean she's about to be ridden. Not every interaction has to lead to work, and I think that little bit of unpredictability helps keep them relaxed and engaged. One thing I love about this moment is how relaxed Peachy is. Her eyes are closed, she looks sleepy, and it's a good reminder that these quiet moments of comfort matter just as much as the active parts of our time together. Since Peachy is an easy keeper, maintaining an ideal weight is something I'm always working on. It can be a real balancing act because, as the boss mare, she naturally has first access to the hay. I could separate her from the others, but I'm hesitant to do that because horses are herd animals, and their social interaction and established hierarchy are incredibly important to their well-being. Earlier this spring and summer, I tried a grazing muzzle, but she still continued to gain weight. I also tried keeping her in the dry lot while Boone and Palace were out in the pasture. As long as she could see them, she was generally content. But once they moved out of sight, it became distressing for her. I understand the steps involved in working through Buddy's sourness, but like many other horse owners, I don't always have the time to address it as thoroughly as I would like. And I don't get upset with her for it, because horses are deeply social animals. Boone and Pallas are her herd, and that attachment is a normal part of who she is. I have something that I want to be extremely honest and straightforward about. I did make a mistake by waiting too long one day. I noticed her anxiety increasing and assumed she would settle as she usually does. But when the other horses were out of sight for too long, it pushed her over the edge. She jumped the fence and took part of it down with her, which turned into an unexpected repair project on one of the hottest days. Thankfully, Peachy was totally okay, except for a few small nicks on her back legs. She was fine, thank God. But I do want to emphasize that this was completely my fault, and I take full responsibility for it. Since then, I have been using a grazing muzzle, which allows her to stay out in the pasture with Pallas and Boone. Being able to move around in a larger area is also a valuable form of exercise for her. And at night, I've been feeding the three of them a reduced amount of hay, which this adjustment hasn't affected Boone or Pallas's weight negatively in any way, and I am starting to see some slow but positive progress with Peachy. As I exercise Peachy in the round pen, one thing that is always a top priority for me is minimizing stress. And I'm not asking her to do anything extreme. That's why we're just working at a nice steady tempo of a trot. More often than not, I think lunging and round penning can become pretty boring and monotonous for the horse. That's one of the reasons I like to incorporate frequent changes of direction and give Peachy opportunities to come back to me for a break. I want her to see me as a place of safety and comfort, and that's something I'm never going to discourage. I'm also perfectly okay if she stops to look at me or checks in with me. I love that she's looking to me and asking questions. I want a horse that is mentally engaged and interacting with me, not one that's simply going through the motions. When she comes in, I also take the opportunity to use my carrot stick and string to help brush the flies away. During bug season, something as simple as providing a little relief can mean a lot. Horses naturally help one another by standing together and grooming each other to keep the insects away. So I think it's important that we recognize that need too. Every time Peachy comes back to me, she's not just getting a break from exercise, she's also finding comfort and relief. To me, those are the moments that build trust and strengthen the relationship. Now for a duck update. Our 4 little ducklings have officially graduated into teenagers, and it was finally time to move them from their high-security nursery in the small barn to a much larger pen next to the rest of the flock. I want to talk a little bit about why they were kept separate in the first place. Living in a rural area is wonderful, but it also means we have a lot of natural predators that can pose a serious threat to ducks and chickens. Over the years, we've dealt with coyotes, mink, foxes, raccoons, and opossums. So when these little ones were young and vulnerable, we kept them in a more secure area inside the small barn. Now that they have grown significantly and were starting to outgrow that space, we felt they were ready for the next step. They are still not being introduced directly into the adult flock yet, but they now have a larger pen right next to the other Muscovies, so they can safely see and interact with them while they continue to mature. One of the things I really love about Muscovy ducks is their temperament. They are generally very calm and docile compared to many other types of domestic ducks. In fact, Muscovies are unique because they are the only domestic duck that is not descended from mallards. Technically, they don't even fit the strict definition of a true duck, and they actually share traits that are more similar to ducks, geese, and even turkeys. For their diet, we are feeding them a high-protein feed specifically formulated for ducks and ducklings. We also supplement with niacin because ducks have higher requirements for this B vitamin compared to chickens, and a deficiency can lead to leg and mobility issues. When Muscovy ducklings are very young, it can be difficult to tell the males and females apart. But now that they are getting larger, the differences are becoming much easier to see. The males are typically larger overall, with broader beaks, but the easiest way for me to tell is by looking at their legs and feet. The males develop noticeably thicker, larger legs and feet compared to the females.
This guy's afraid to walk over the blue hose. You can do it. Be brave.
Come on. Over the blue hose.
Come on, be brave.
Jump it. There you go. One made it. Over the blue hose. Come on. Peck at it.
Come on. You too.
There you go. Scaredy cats. Come on. Oh, oh, there we go.
also wanted to introduce the 2 male guinea fowl that a friend recently gave us. I'm excited to have them here on the farm, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they settle in. I'm sure you'll be seeing more of them in future videos. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking it and subscribing. It really helps support my channel, and I truly appreciate your support. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.